Sharing.
Okay, hello! Welcome to PolyChampions YouTube. We're going to be talking about the beta, Path of the Ocean beta, aka Naval Rework. I'm Espark. I'm a junior on the Huskies team, and I'm also the leader of Arctic Wolves. And today I have with me a group of other pro players. So go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Hey guys, I'm a Wannyboy. I am a pro player from the Kraken team.
Okay. Hello, I am McGoon. I'm a pro player on the Dragons team, and I'm a co-leader.
Hello, I'm Pixel and I'm a pro player on Vikings and I am also the leader, so...
Welcome.
And now that I think of it, I think every single one of us is also a mod on Polymain.
Oh my gosh, we are.
Yes, that's true.
Shh, don't tell anyone. They'll all leave. You didn't hear that. None of us are mods, really.
Not sure they'll buy it.
Yeah. So I was hoping we could play a little beta Polytopia, and I'll pick your brains about what you think about it. Oh, I sent a list of questions to Wanny and McGoon, but Pixel, you kind of joined, so you're going to be surprised by my list of questions.
Okay. I'm also a bit worried because I'm like the only non-native English speaker here, so don't blame me if I don't understand something and if you need to repeat sometimes.
That's fine.
I mean, we understand you just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and also tell me if you don't understand what I am saying, because sometimes I just don't find my words.
Or we can all switch to French. Wanny, do you speak French?
Not that well.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure speaking French here will help anyone to understand things.
I do speak French and Spanish, but McGoon, how's your French?
I haven't touched it in a few years. Probably rather not.
All right, so we'll stick with English. So let's exchange some friend requests while we're talking. But the Steam names are different. So maybe just post in the chat, or unless you guys have your Steam names already in your player profile.
I don't think
I don't know which one Pixel is. I think I already got McGoon and Espark.
Okay.
Yes,
I sent it in the VC chat. It's Pixel Power. Okay. Anyway.
And McGoon, you're on mobile? How are you on mobile?
I'm on Steam.
Wait a minute.
It's slightly different numbers.
Oh, you know why? I have the wrong settings on. Hold on. I have it set so it I need to go to a different display. Discord single tablet. Here we go. Aha. Success. Okay, so now I can see McGoon's screen. Excellent. Are either of you guys able to stream? Are you at a computer where you can
Yes, I think I can.
That'll be fun. Then I can switch between the different views.
Tell me if it's not good enough. Well, if it's lagging, then I'll turn down the settings a bit.
And I'm not gonna play because I'm so bad at multitasking. So I'm just gonna chat and manage the stream because I can't do like more than 2 things at once.
That's fair. So what do we want to play?
Yeah, what do you guys want to play? I would love to see a showcase of the beta, so maybe not stuff like that's the same?
Continents or Pangea then?
Yes.
Let's say normal, so it doesn't take too long.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's good settings.
And do
And tribes.
24-hour turns, so you guys don't feel pressured to like take your turns really fast.
Oh,
I was thinking maybe we take some of the weaker tribes, because the last showcase took all the strong tribes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we take Yadak and Hubrik,
Yes.
both of the nerfed ones,
Yes.
and then a third random one, whichever you guys prefer.
I enjoy you saying Yadok is a weak tribe.
I'm not saying they're weak. I'm saying they're nerfed, and a lot of people have questions about them.
Yeah, I think people
Yeah.
are curious to see how they play differently.
It's definitely the one of the tribes most affected by the change.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could place one special tribe that they may be a bit too strong. I don't know. Like Aquarian.
Mm-hmm.
I did not look forward to that, but yeah, sure. For some reason, my friend list is bugging out.
Oh.
I added Pixel, but I can't see him, so let me just quickly restart.
Yeah, that's actually really common. A lot of people have to restart their friends list. Like when they get an accept, they still have to reload it. That's pretty normal. So who's going to host? McGoon, are you going to host?
I can host, possibly.
Or Wanny,
yeah,
are
I
you
already
hosting?
have a game.
Okay, Wanny's doing it. Never mind.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
I picked Yadak.
Okay.
I will play Hudrick then.
Okay, McGoon's taking Hudrick. So Pixel, then you get to do Aquarion.
Yeah. With the fun.
Okay. So I'm going to go through my questions. Let's start with, what is your favorite thing about the beta?
I would say that Naval is finally a bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I always disliked the fact that Naval was just pretty much, not completely, but pretty much counting stars, and the one with most stars or most battleships, I guess, they won. Ooh, really nice opening.
Who has the most winners? I feel like it's a bit that added with giants and some scouts, but it's really a lot of Whammers plays. And I don't know, it's a bit too early to tell if it's better than the old system. But I find it more interesting and I also never played a team game in beta, so it's hard to say. But I think it's better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any favorite change because I didn't test them all. Maybe Uts, because I feel like Uts were really, really too good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I quite like how the roads and lumber have both been nerfed in this update. I felt it's good to shake up the meta and the meta. So any changes that really affect how we'd usually play the game on every map, that's a big win for me.
Mm. So McGoon, you really like the balance changes with the roads and the lumber huts costing less. And Wanny, you said you like just that Naval is more interesting now. And Pixel, you said your favorite is, I guess you just like it overall. Is there one thing that you like the most, Pixel?
My sound seems to be bugging out a bit. You're very quiet.
Oh, really? I didn't change anything.
I'm not really sure.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can.
It's better.
Okay, I didn't change anything. It's like I didn't touch anything. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, Pixel, what's the one? If you had to pick one thing that's your favorite, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think it's Hurts nerf. I think it was really needed and it's the best thing that happened to the game in terms of balance.
The lumber huts getting nerfed. That's your top
Yes.
thing. Yeah, I think that's controversial because I've heard that some people really don't like it.
Yeah, those are border mains
Yes,
or Hoodwick mains. I don't know.
yes. The
Yeah,
bar.
like,
Okay, so I wanted to know what your now I want to know what your least favorite thing is. If you had to pick one thing that you really don't like, what would it be?
Burning village.
Oh,
yes,
Agreed. That one just feels weird and gives information that we really just shouldn't have.
yeah,
Like in my opinion, it almost takes away from the game just by just because it removes the aspect of exploration. You could, if you see someone, a village burning somewhere in the clouds, you know, okay, I need to send my riders there. I need to kill them right now. You
oh,
can't
there
really.
we can see it. So we can see. I'm watching McGoon's screen right now, and we can see there's fire. There's a village. There's fire in the fog. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Wanny. What were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, that it's just that it takes away from the exploration aspect and that it promotes early aggression. You can't really sneak a village anymore because the opponent always knows where you are. So it's just a lot of things that don't feel very good about it.
And it's like I feel like I almost try to ignore it because I feel like it's cheating. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to see this. It feels really weird to have played a lot of games and trying to guess where the opponent is, and now you just know where he is, like turn 2, and he's very, very well.
So you feel like it's almost cheating to see where the
Yes.
villages are. It's not fair. It's an unfair advantage.
Yes.
I forgot who I asked that from. Okay, who else has a top thing that they don't like besides the burning forest? Or do you all think that's the worst thing? The burning villages.
I would probably say that's the worst thing. If I had to pick a second least favorite change. Personally, I'm not convinced the new naval units are all that well balanced currently. For example, the bombers having splash damage is really quite game changing. There's no real way to counter them once you're stuck on land. If you don't have a navy already, you cannot fight against bombers. So I think some sort of balancing needs to be done there.
Yeah, I haven't experienced that. I haven't experienced that, but like it's almost impossible to counter someone who has bombers now. Like you can't come back. It's extremely hard because all you land units will get destroyed by bombers, and so I don't know. Maybe it's a bit overpowered.
I think that's a bit the general problem with this patch. Not that one naval unit is overpowered, but that all of them are overpowered together to be balanced against each other, which means that they're no longer balanced against against the land units. But so I'm not sure. I might even support them just nerfing the stats of every single new unit to bring everything in line. And if they're all nerfed, then they kind of stay the same compared to each other. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Oh boy, I don't like seeing all that.
What? What don't you like? What's
I mean,
happening in the game?
Just like two very nasty units quite close to my new city.
Hello.
It's-
Hey, I saw the burning. I'm following the flames.
I mean, I knew you were somewhere around there, but I didn't think you were this close.
Hey,
Shit. Yeah, I should have gone the fruit. Oh well. Actually, do you have a bounce? No, you don't. Okay.
So, Wanny, you were saying you think all of the new naval units altogether are too strong, and like they just like I think it was Pixel who was saying like you just can't like if you have a bomber in the against you in the water, there's no way to counter that. So either they need to make all the naval units weaker or have some type of counter, right? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that would be nice. Even with the current version, you could kind of send archers, you could kind of use catapults. Of course, the battleships were always better. But now, even the archers can't reach the bombers. And if you put bombers against catapults, the catapults just don't stand a chance. Because the catapults need to get set up in a place where they are very likely damaged by splash damage. It's so much easier to set up a bomber in a correct place if you have naval control than to set up the catapult that is meant to counter it. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what needs to happen there. But I guess we need to have a bit of trust in Mijuan and see what he does. And could you please stop that? Really not very nice of you.
Stop it! Who is Aquarian getting in your way?
Yes, Pixel was very rude, I feel.
Ah,
Yeah, he just slapped me.
Audacity.
ouch!
Exactly. He just hit a poor defenseless raft. That is so
Ah,
rude.
And you know what the worst part is? He moved his unit onto land, so now I can't make a rammer to kill him, because my rammer will just bend into a warrior.
Disaster.
Horrible.
how rude. So actually, let's talk about rammers because from what I gather on the Discord, the rammer is the number one topic of discussion. People love to talk about the
It's a
rammer.
rammer cult.
Rammer cult, yes.
I don't see I don't see Brenner being that great, to be honest. Like, I feel bombers just outclass them enough that you only need rammers in very specific cases. Otherwise, wouldn't bother with them.
I completely disagree with what you said
Ooh.
because I played some 1v1 in beta with Dastic, with Galsi, and we used a lot of rammers, and it's pretty much what determines who wins the game is who has the most rammers. And I don't know, we didn't use bombers a single time. So maybe it depends on the game and on the situation, but I
Maybe.
really feel like you need rammers to win, while you don't need bombers to win. But
That's
maybe I
fair
am
enough.
wrong. I don't know.
I kind of agree. The rammers are the thing that gives you the naval dominance, and the bombers you can use after you already have naval dominance. But bombers are not the thing that wins you the game. Bombers are the thing that finishes the game that is already won.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe I've
Like-
just reached opponents before they can
Okay.
get to me.
Ooh, this I do like a lot more.
Oh, we're gonna.
Wow, what should I buy?
Are you going for the starfish?
Everything.
I didn't expect 2 star ruins.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Okay. I think you should get navigation and eat those starfish.
Yeah, probably. Let me first eat
Sleeping
the
fast.
amphibian.
Bye-bye, amphibian.
Oh boy.
Serve me well. No, I have vision.
I mean, I didn't need to sacrifice a unit for that. I just sent in a nice explorer. Let's... Oh. I do this, and I do this. And then I do this, and this.
Oh, yes.
You duck. Looking those lucky star ruins. Actually, so let's talk about the starfish. Okay, so that's also controversial. Some people think they look creepy. Other people think they look cute. But as a mechanism, let's talk about how they actually function in the game. What do you think about starfish?
I didn't report it in the Polymain forum, but I think those were poorly described because when I read the patch notes, I saw the starfishes and I was like, oh, you can instantly claim them. Like, you go end the starfish and you get 10 stars, but at the end, it's just like wins. So you have to wait one turn and then waste another turn to take them. So it's not as worse as ways. But at the opposite, you can find them anywhere on the map. So I'm not a fan, but I'm not a big starfish hater either. So mixed feelings.
I quite like them because they're like, well, they are a star ruin, but they are a star ruin that you actually need to invest in. Like you need to buy the right decks, you need to prepare for them, and everyone is kind of scrambling to claim them. But again, the entire fact that you have to spend a deck for it just makes it so much more interesting in a way. Let me quickly get a bit of vision. Please remove that raft out of my...
I was just saying hi.
He was just saying hi.
No, I mean, sorry. Next time I won't try to kill you, but...
It couldn't do anything back. Useless. But, yeah, I think...
That is actually kind of true. Why did I kill you again?
My largest problem with starfish is they can spawn anywhere, but they don't have to be evenly spread out.
Oh.
You can get 5 or 6 starfish in one corner and nothing elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's fine that you have to buy 2-3 techs to get them, but you're going to buy them anyway, eventually, because Naval is currently superior. So when you're investing in something anyway, it's very hard to say. I'm not sure what I'm saying here, but
you were saying
it is a quite obvious take to take.
You were saying how you think it can be unfair or just random where the starfish spawn, but it was always like that. It's like that with the whales, and you could even say it's like that with ruins. If you just happen to have more ruins on your corner of the map, then how is starfish generation different than, say, how whales or ruins are?
Well, firstly, whales, they would only spawn in the outside of your cities, and you had to have the city to get the whales. You had to board growth to get the whales as well. So you have to choose board growth, you have to actually have the whales in your city. So it's... And also you have to have the tech, obviously. But, just by... Starfish, on the other hand, like, just finding them first means you're more likely to get them. And compared to ruins, it's generally a starfish would be better. If you, from a ruin, a lot of the time you're looking to get a stars ruin, because that's generally quite a useful thing. Starfish are just a guaranteed stars ruin. Like, that's a lot stronger comparatively. So Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's true that they are guaranteed in that way. Oh. Sorry, I just dropped my laptop.
You dropped your computer.
Give me a few moments while I clean up the mess.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, next question. What tribe do you think got the biggest buff? Which single tribe benefited most from this beta?
It's hard to say. Maybe a Leon because of the sanctuaries. Just know the best way to make stars in the game, but I'm not too sure. Maybe Simanti is quite good now too.
I don't agree with Simanti being very good now. Still, they're even worse on maybe comparatively than before, and that the nerf to Rhodes hasn't helped Simanti. Rhodes still, they're not expensive enough to say that the nerf to Rhodes has ruined your ability to fight Simanti. You can still do it just as easily. So I don't agree with that buff at all. Ilarion, yes, they've received a bit of a buff. Probably so. Kiku has potentially received the largest buff here. If not Aquarion, they also got a buff. Kiku, in their case, they can see the water crops immediately. That's very helpful. They know what resources they have in the water. Also, they're much closer to scouts and to then, of course, starfish, so they can expand over the water quickly and get back to stars for expanding quickly, which means they're not economically down compared to someone who didn't rush the water. So in that sense, I think they may have received a large buff. And at the same time, Aquarion received a similar buff. Starting with riding now, they can expand and explore very quickly with Star, albeit slightly slower than Kiku to all the starfish.
Yeah, that's right. But I was also thinking about like Kiku was relying a lot on custom houses and population from ports, and so I feel like it will be harder to get that high stars pattern and harder to upgrade cities as well because just like ports give less population and at the same time on the islands Kiku were using a lot huts, so I don't know. But maybe you're right. I guess time will tell. Oh, you just made a bomber, and you absolutely destroyed my tridents and amphibian.
Oh wait, you bumped him as well. I mean, I also just got bumped. That's a lot of bombers.
Hoodrick's bombing everybody. Bombing out.
People saying Hoodrick got nerfed, please.
McGoon
We might just get to settle the debate about how strong bombers are.
Yeah. So, just to recap, I've heard that, Illyrian benefited a lot, not because Illyrian got a change, but because custom houses are gone and the markets are not as strong, and Illyrian has sanctuaries, which is a really great way for them to get income, and other tribes I mean, you could argue Polaris has Ice Bank, but that also got nerfed. So Illyrion is really, like the new moneymaker. Kiku got an advantage with the the ports in fishing, but Kiku was strong before. Like, I think everyone agreed that Kiku was one of the stronger tribes.
Yes.
I would say net benefit is probably Aquarion because they were so weak before, and now they start with riding. In and of itself, if that was the only thing, that would be a huge improvement. Although I've been told that this is not the quote-unquote Aquarion rework, that there may be more changes to Aquarion later. But I would say even if this is all that Aquarion gets, this is a huge buff for Aquarion. Wanny, did you answer the question? I was asking, what do you think is the tribe that got the biggest benefit from this beta?
The biggest, probably Kiku, just because of how strong the water is right now. I've been trying a few pass and play games against myself. Mm-hmm. Kiku Archipelago against Aquarion. And I think I managed to rammer rush my Aquarion down in like 8 turns. It was really ridiculous how quick they were on the water and how efficient they were. Mm-hmm. So yeah, probably Kiku, but honorable mention to my boys Illyrion. He's kind of just amazing, and their star income, as you said, it's so great right now compared to the others.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to adjust markets because everyone says like either they miss custom houses or markets just are not pulling their weight. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's not even that the market itself is too weak. The market is all right power-wise. The problem is that the tech is not worth it. So, like, if you already have the trade tech, then you will be placing down markets because at that point, markets are worth the investment. But just buying a tier 3 tech for those markets, that's the problem that we have at the moment. Mm-hmm. So they could buff the markets, or they could buff the tech and give some other ways of some other reasons to buy it.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't think markets are particularly weak per se. I think we're just all very used to having customs houses, which were obviously stronger. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not too sad to see custom houses go. These things were, let's be honest, quite toxic, quite just such a huge power swing. Hey, that's a bomber. Not anymore.
Bye-bye, bomber.
Oh.
Wanny, did you say custom houses were toxic?
I mean, in a way, yes, because it could just give you such a huge... Okay, no, toxic is maybe not the right word. Whales were much worse. I've been talking too much with my company these days.
Oh, ooh.
Oh gosh. I pity you.
Stay away from M Company, right? He's
not that bad.
No.
So what was I even saying?
Oh, it's custom houses. They were strong. They were. I mean, for many games, like in the late game, they could make or break. And if you didn't get custom houses in the late game, you were going to fall behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
houses. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The possible spots you could get were also quite limiting. Like sometimes you just didn't have the right naval access, and then you were screwed in the late game because you couldn't really use the custom houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit tiring to see people always rushing custom houses. It was like every team game I played that was not Drylands was like we need to think that move because we will make a custom houses here, and we need to take that tech because it's closer to custom houses, and everything was more or less linked to custom houses, and it was a bit like okay, so we have only one way to make stars late game, and it was custom houses, and so I think we need more diversity to make stars than just one building that rely on one mechanic. And so markets are good and not that good because the mechanic is a bit like, I don't know, it feels weird. I don't think it's really balanced. But there is the 90, and I like that 90.
There's a question coming in from the YouTube. Wanny, are you playing Yadak?
I am, yes.
Okay, the question is, so how does it feel to play Yadak now with the cost of roads being 3 stars? How does it feel? You still there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Just connected to the second screen.
Okay.
It's quite all right. Well, they're obviously weaker. That's definitely the case. But Yadak were a relatively strong tribe compared to most of the normal tribes. Of course, the turn zeros are way above. But Yadak was not bad. So I think it will definitely survive this move.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, the fact that Yadak, well, you can still open with roads. I did an opening here with roads, and I think you're 1 turn slower with your eco, but it still feels quite smooth. I've always liked how smooth the Yadak opening felt, and that hasn't changed. And you also have the advantage, because roads are now worse. Other people are less likely to invest in roads, which means that there's fewer other people also using roads. So in that way, you have a bit of an advantage that you already start building your road network, while the others are postponing it because it just costs so much. And so yeah, I'm not really sure that's really a Yadak advantage, but it is something to look out for. Just the fact that Yadak can actually use roads and will be using them a lot sooner than the others, and that the others are not very likely to join suit.
I'd also say that starting with roads is also very beneficial because they're much closer to getting markets, which, as we were saying, one of the biggest downsides for markets currently is that it takes you all the way up to a tier 3 tech to get markets, which aren't themselves awful, but just paying all that extra means it takes a really long time to get your money back from investing in markets. So by starting with roads already, you're halfway there. So it's much more beneficial for Yadak to get markets than any other tribe currently.
Yeah, it sounds like just the return on investment with markets is really low. It takes a long time for you to earn that money back.
Yeah, only if you also calculate in the tax, because market itself has quite decent return on investment. I mean, 5 stars for 1 star per turn is not great. 5 for 2 stars per turn is amazing. So if you have the tech, definitely use them.
Did you just make a piece?
We might have.
Did you make friends?
Yeah. We are friends now.
Oh, that makes it much harder. Leave my bombers alone. No.
You know, I wanted to ask.
Oh, yes. I mean, you put them all in my reach. I'm going to attack now.
It looks like there's a spot where you could have made a bridge between the Aquarion and the Hoodrick territory. But I haven't seen any bridges. So what do you think about bridges?
I don't... Yeah, I mean, in that situation, I don't think any of us have any advantage to make bridges because McGoon got no lens unit and I already had tridents. So there is no use to bridge in this situation. But in general matter, bridge are not very useful. I mean, it's very, very situational. It's high cost. It doesn't bring much things. Maybe just a surprise knight or a cloak, but that's the only thing I can think about. Or maybe in team games to allow teammates to eat your cities or something. But I really don't see. I think that they need a change in cost.
Yeah. So you think they're too expensive right now to be useful, or the situations where you would use them are so infrequent that it doesn't make it worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice that they exist, and when you want them, when you want to use them, they're really good. But you can't really use them early game because of the cost, and by the mid to end game, you probably have a navy, so you don't really need them anymore. So they're in a bit of a weird space.
Yeah, I'd also say that ports are cheaper to build and they're more useful, and Navy is stronger than land armies at the moment. So there isn't really any reason to try and pursue building bridges and getting a land army to attack when you can just go for Navy, which is significantly stronger.
Yeah. Okay, next question. We haven't really seen it much yet. We see it a little bit, but what do you guys think about the explorer task and the lighthouses?
It's fun.
It's fun?
Yes, it is.
It's
And yeah,
so go ahead.
it gives a little bonus because you can see who has explored the lighthouse, so you can guess like, oh, this person can see me right here, and you can tell maybe an explorer pass from a certain city from someone. So it's quite of nice, and it creates interactions between players and neutral buildings. So well, I found this fun. I didn't want to change on Explorer Stacks particularly, but know that it's made. I think it's good and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like the change. I very much enjoy the being able to see who's seen the lighthouse already.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy it watching it go all the way up. 15 players seeing the same lighthouse. It's entertaining. But I wasn't particularly expecting a change to the Explorer task. I thought it was fine as it was. But it's quite a nice change. It doesn't make the task much easier, but I think as a lot of people saying, it is less tedious. There are some random fog spots that might be behind your cities that you have no need to explore. But if you wanted the Explorer task in the old version, you would have to look at it, which is just an extra delay. I also quite like the change that it's no longer related to a tech. You don't need any techs in particular to get the monument, which for most games probably not that important, but for games like on Drylands particularly, where you would never need to get navigation, just not needing it anymore is much better and actually lets people get the monument. There was no one getting it beforehand.
Yeah, I think it was very unusual to get the Explorer Monument in the past. I think it's still hard to get. I think a lot of people won't get it, but like you guys were saying, even if you don't get the monument, the lighthouses just in and of themselves, because you can see the color on the side of the building, each color represents the tribe that has found that lighthouse, so you know which tribes have vision in that area. So that in and of itself is kind of a little perk.
Yes, exactly.
I've seen people complain that they don't like the lighthouses taking up room on a tile. We saw a game before where it was actually in the border of a city and they
Yes.
couldn't, use it. But I think that's also a bug. I don't think cities are supposed to spawn like that on the edge of the map anyways.
Yes.
But still, if you border expand or something, people were complaining that the lighthouse by itself, you can't use the tile for improvements.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is.
That's a, yes.
It's an annoying bug. We can't do anything about it right now. Hopefully it gets fixed soon and we can get a proper idea how the game's going to work in the beta. But until then, nothing to do about it. So accept it.
And for the border expense, I see. I saw a suggestion by, I think that was Radak and someone else, and that was to put the lighthouse on the very corner of the tile, and just so you can see it when discovering the tile, but it's not really in the tile, so you can still use it. And I think it's a minor detail, but it's a small change, but I think it would be quite good. But I don't know if Medium will change just a little thing like that. I think it just go with it and say, oh, it's a little detail, no one cares. And
Well, I mean, Michigan does care, and if we say stuff, especially on the main Discord, he is going around there. The Sorceress is also watching those channels, so they might not read every single detail, but if enough people say that it's a problem, then sure, why not?
Yes, and
So
I would
we'll see.
I would encourage that we're going to put in a plug here. I would encourage everyone to, number one, get Steam, try the beta, and number two, join the official Discord. There is a channel, beta discussion. There's a forum where you can talk about bugs or other issues because the developers, they do want to hear from players what they think, and this is not set in stone. So there is a very good chance that Midjiwan will change these features before they get into the full version of the game.
Yeah, I maybe went a bit too far by saying Midjuan doesn't care. I actually think he improved. He improved because he, in this naval update, he listened to the people
Yeah.
because there was obviously needed and asked from all the type of players to change the naval system, and that's what he did. And so I'm really happy because it shows that he listens to the community sometimes, and it's great. It's great.
And yeah, we also know that this beta will take a while. They will probably do a few different takes, probably change a few things after a week or two. I don't know how long, but we will probably get to play around with a lot of different features before it actually goes to live. So yeah, I'm interested to see where it's going.
Yeah, and so some people were asking, the Steam beta is unlimited, so it's there's no limit. You can have as many people, but it's only Steam right now. I think it's possible that they will open it up and make it a mobile beta, but probably if they do that, it won't be for a few weeks. So at least for the next, I would guess, 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be limited to Steam, but there's as many slots as you want. It's not going to fill up on Steam. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, I think on that, I think they were saying that they want to focus primarily on all the features for beta just on Steam and get all of those sorted out and all the bugs and stuff related to the beta. And then once that's done, they want to spread it out, open the beta up to other platforms such as mobile, so that they can focus on platform-specific bugs. So that was an issue with just iOS platform users. They would fix that separately after all the beta stuff has been dealt with. So in that sense, I don't think probably be like a month or two before we get a full beta release on all platforms, I reckon.
Let me see. Where do I want my monuments?
Oh.
I have way too many of them.
You do. You have so many monuments.
Let's put one here.
Why are you hiding them? You should display them proudly.
I mean, but I'm never gonna get farming to upgrade these cities. I want a few stars. I think I want one over here as well.
You gonna make a giant? Oh, are you gonna have a Oh, we already have some juggernauts, don't we? I see one.
Yeah, but well, I'm killing the other one, so I want to make a new one to replace it. All right, there we go.
You're only killing one of them. Jeez.
No, one of them. So there's more.
Of course. It's not going to be only one. You see the monument. Rock of Fortune.
Boom. The juggernaut. Boom.
A little bit rude.
You started it. Don't get me.
I guess it's fair.
Oh, I forget. Which unit has that stiff ability?
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, yeah.
How does that work?
So if the Juggernaut is attacked by anything, it doesn't deal any damage in retaliation. So over here, I was under attack from some scouts and rammers.
Mm-hmm.
My Juggernaut took damage, but it did not deal anything back. So
It's kind of
personally,
the opposite of a dagger. It's hard for me to get my head around.
yeah. Personally, I don't like the change. I feel like giants are very weak on the water currently.
Mm.
Like, it's nice that you don't have to spend any money upgrading them, but I don't think stiff was the right way to balance them. Even as it is, they deal less damage than other units on the water, and they move much less quickly than everything else. So I don't think stiff was needed. And if a nerf was needed for them, something else could have worked just as well, if not better, in my opinion.
Maybe it will get a bit complicated, but I feel like Juggernaut should be the base of an exclusive giant units pass, so you can upgrade Juggernaut into different forms. Like I don't know, but I feel like it would be an interesting mechanic, and it shouldn't be only Juggernaut, because Juggernaut is not really interesting. It's just a massive hill spool running on the ocean, and it just take hits and die after a moment. So it just buys you time. It's not really participating in anything. Like, you don't need it to win. You just put your giant into water and you watch it dies. It's sad.
Yeah. I think the only bit about it that I like is it encourages you to keep your giants on land and use them as land unit rather than as naval unit, which before was a very, very good thing to do, because a giant battleship was arguably one of the strongest units in the game. So, yeah.
So Pixel, are you saying that you'd like to have a giant be able to become a bomber or a rammer or a scout, or just you'd like to see them not just be a juggernaut, to be something else?
I don't think they like. It's obviously a bad idea to make a 40 HP bomber. Like, you don't want to see it, but it should have some evolution. I mean, like should have different units for your giant and not only Juggernaut, or change Juggernaut into something more polyvalent. But it needs a change to me.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's very much transport, right? It's a way to get your Juggernaut, get your Giants from place A to place B, and can also shoot a bit while doing so.
Yes.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
but it will obviously be targeted, and your Giant won't end in the B point at full life. It's like super obvious. So you don't want to put your Giants in water to transport them. Or at least I don't want. Maybe you can try, but I don't think you get a lot of success.
I think just Midjuan wanted to really get away from the whole battleship spam and giant battleship because that was just boring.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think Juggernaut is better than giant battleships.
Yeah.
But it's not what I want to see as for giants. But it's better, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have heard some complaints from people that it is too difficult to get into the water when someone else is assailing you. And that was one of the things that giant battleships were good for, right? If you had a lot of stars, then you could just say, screw it, I'll get into the water whether you want it or not. And that was something a giant battleship could do. On the other hand, I still didn't like how much it actually did for you.
I'm not completely agreeing with you here, but that works. Putting giants or defenders into the water as battleships immediately, that worked quite well in previous versions. But now that's not as much of an option if you don't have a navy and someone else does. Because of the bomber unit, they can outrange most things, everything in fact, and they'll deal damage without taking any retaliation. So it's even harder now than before to get into the water if you're not already. So I think bombers having 3 range compared to everything else having 2 is a significant advantage when it comes to keeping naval dominance.
Bomber exchanged. Look at that splash damage. How do you guys like the splash damage? To me, I keep thinking of a dragon.
Yeah. Personally, I don't like the splash damage.
You don't like the splash damage?
No. I think just being able to against like naval units in this scenario, maybe it's not the biggest deal in the world, but if I was in a more defensive position and I had a line of catapults in the back, a bomber would completely destroy all of them without any risk from the catapults themselves. So in that sense, I just like how they really limit your ability to come back from anything.
So, Wanny, what were you saying about the splash damage? There's a comment in the YouTube that they think splash damage is OP.
What do I think about it? Well, on one hand, I think it's good that there is some special AoE damage for naval, just like, well, on land everyone has knights, or the ones who don't have exploding insects that run around. And I think that's a good thing for the game to have, just because it is a way to use a single big unit to punish a lot of small units. And I think that's what they were going for with the bomber. I'm not sure the splash damage is really too much. I'm not sure it should go. My main concern with splash damage is that it is on a unit with 4 attack and 3 range. And so it's just so many things at once that, yeah. So, no, and I'm not specifically concerned about the splash damage. I'm more concerned about the overall package.
The whole thing, the whole package. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Pixel, you're playing Aquarion, right?
Yeah, I'm currently playing a board game where I just upgrade my city and see the people fight. It's really cool.
So what do you think about these Aquarion changes, starting with riding and the crab? You got a crab.
Yeah,
the crab
I got crab.
moves more on water and has more defense. Can you show us? Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, go back. I want to see this crab. 4 attack, 5 defense, 2 movement, but it's 2 movement on the water, right?
Yes.
And what do you think about the changes to Aquarion?
It's pretty cool. It was obviously really needed,
Yeah.
and I think Aquarion's main are finally happy because of starting tech, obviously, and it allows quicker expansion. It makes sense with what Aquarion are meant to be, so it's really cool. But I look forward to see the real Aquarion Rework with units change. Like, I don't know, they don't have many units. They are amphibians, but I still don't understand why a tribe that lives underwater need boats. It doesn't make any sense. Do they just go back in evolution and they just decide to go on land again? It's quite weird.
That's a really good point from a lore standpoint. Why does
Yes.
a tribe that can swim and has all this water, why do they need to make ports and boats? Evolutionarily, they are going backwards.
And that's
Actually,
forbidden.
can they swim? Because I just see all of them riding on sea turtles.
Oh, that's true.
That's a good question.
Mm.
You need to see McGoon Polytopia Legends videos to know that.
Yeah, I think you already showed us that Hoodrick can definitely swim, but Aquarion was not on there.
Yeah.
In the videos, the Polytopian Legends. Yeah, we saw Hoodrick diving into the ocean and swimming around. You gonna get a temple? What? No, don't do that.
No. I'm just looking at all those empty tiles around that city.
Oh, there's still that little corner of fog in the east. You haven't found the lighthouse yet.
Yes.
Okay, I had some other questions. Let me see. What was my... Oh, we didn't talk about parks. Has in this game, have any of you gotten a park yet?
Not really, no. The park is a fun thing, but I haven't really... I'm happy with the change, but I haven't really felt the need to use them so far.
I'm just old school. I'm Mage Giants Park are useless. I don't use them. So maybe I should make parks, but for the moment I just make giants and that's it.
Yeah,
But the
I
change
think
is
it's
good.
good. Yeah, I think it's good that they're trying to change parks so that they're actually picked by people outside of protection. But I just don't think 1 star extra is enough to. It doesn't quite equate to a giant yet. So there's not really a reason to pick a Hark over a giant currently, in my opinion.
Well, I think there was one reason. For Illyrian, when you want to upgrade the city and you don't want to put a small dragon egg on the front lines.
Yes.
That is true, yeah.
So hey, another Illyrian buff.
Yes. I've heard that the park income is really only useful. I've seen it be used in Illyrian games where they're like, oh, I don't want to get a dragon egg right on the border with my opponent, but if I put a park there, I get a little bit of a benefit. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe aquarium dwellings, but I think they are just dead. Know that amphibians can't use walls anymore. It's really sad, but it makes sense, but it's really sad at the same time.
Yeah. Although I'm still not sure I'd pick a park over a crab on drylands. 5 defense makes them the strongest unit in the game.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing else has 5 defense.
I have a doubt. Maybe crabs can still take roads after all, because they talked about amphibians, but not about crabs.
I think the ability float was changed so that they can't use roads.
Float, yeah, maybe. I need to test, but you're probably right.
This seems like this game's at a stalemate with the two of you guys friends, but I don't know, maybe Yadak's gonna finally make a move.
Maybe.
I think Yadak is going to keep pushing me.
When he looks like he's winning, but I don't know.
Yeah,
he's not.
We've got this amphibian going for the lighthouse. That is a real risk.
Go for the lighthouse.
Game changing.
Any other thoughts about the beta?
What do people think of?
Oh.
We didn't talk about Pangea.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you think about the new map type? Pixel, you go first.
It's an interesting map type for sure. It's a bit like a mix. Yeah, they described it as a mix between continents and water world or something. But it's interesting. I played some games on it, but it really feels like the tribe that has the most land power will win, and we don't use many navals, so it just feels like a bit of restricted violence. But I think it could be more interesting for team games, because you can have one trying to hold a land side and one going in support in naval with like bombers or things like this, and it could be really interesting. So I like this map type, and I think it's quite balanced. It is quite good in that point. So I would be happy to play some with friends and with other competitive players.
Yeah, my experience with Pangea, the few times I've played multiplayer, is it still plays kind of like a drylands map. You need to get the villages and the resources on the land.
Yeah.
If you focus on getting into the water and neglect forward settling to get into that middle of the landmass, then you're going to lose. But you have a good point. It could be more dynamic with a team game if you had one teammate going into the ocean and the other teammate focusing on the land. But I still think in Pangea, like with any other game, the key is forward settling, getting to those villages before your opponent, and then that's how you win.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, but it is very true. It's very similar to continents, and I would play it very much like continents, but I do actually prefer it over continents. I'm not really a big fan of the continents village generation, and so at Pangea, everything is a little bit denser. You have that outer border, which is not very regular in shape. There's more interesting stuff happening with the terrain. And so, in that regard, I also wouldn't use Navy on there. But I do think it's a very good map type. And I don't think I will ever play Drylands again with this thing around.
Yeah, because it's like Drylands, but more balanced and with more options to win the game.
Yeah, and as a lot of people have pointed out, it's very similar to Tiny Continents, which was
that's right.
a really great, great map type. And now they just made a bigger version of it.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. That Pangea is like continents on a tiny map because it's just one landmass. That's an interesting way to think about it. McGoon, did you tell us what you think of Pangea?
I quite like it. I think going forward it's going to be one of the most balanced map types. Potentially, once the village density and capital spawning on the edge is fixed, maybe map types like Archipelago and continents will get more love and they'll feel better to play on. But currently, Pangea is the only one that you're pretty much guaranteed not to spawn against the edge of the map. So, in that sense, quite nice. You get all of the space at the start that you need to. And I think, as someone was saying earlier, the village density on Pangea is also probably the best in the game at the moment. So for that, it feels very nice to play on. Otherwise, yeah, it plays quite similarly to Drylands.
Ooh, we're gonna see some markets.
Well, I gotta try them at least once, right?
Whoa.
There is a market.
Nice market.
And now we've got a farm in the way of a port.
Has anyone seen like level 8 markets? I wonder what it look like.
Yeah, I made one in a pass and play game just because, like, I wanted to see what it would look like. But it's like a puzzle. You have to figure out, like, okay, I have to put my windmill here. I have to put my forge here. You really have to be very careful. But yeah, I only
Could
did
be
it
a challenge.
Yeah.
Get your level 5 or level 8 even market in the fewest amount of turns. Could be a great challenge.
That actually gives me an idea. You know how we used to do the gameplay challenges in Polymane? I mean, doing this beta,
of course. I was a challenge director.
Oh, right. Okay, so you remember. So this gives so many new opportunities for those types of single-player challenges, right? Like get the most level 8 markets, right? Something fun like that.
Yeah, there is really funny things to do, like get all the naval units in the fewest amount of time. I don't know. I don't have many ideas because I didn't think about it, but because it's a big update, there is many new things, and new things means many new challenges to make, and I think it could be fun.
Yes.
So why not making them in the near future?
Yeah, there's a lot more potential and new avenues to explore.
Hey, Pixel, why are you blocking my raft?
That wasn't intended, but it's a good
Just want to
news.
sail around a bit.
You should have moved it earlier when I wasn't blocking all the way, because your waft is just staying here since like 5 or 6 turn. I don't know what are you doing with this one.
Well, you know that's one tile all the way in the left corner? That one tile is still covered in fog. I see all the rest of your land, but I want to
Oh.
find the lighthouse as well.
You want to get that lighthouse, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm going
just-
for them as well.
I think Pixel will be the only one to get all of the lighthouses seen here.
Yeah,
I don't.
I see these little Aquarion folks heading into the corners of the map. Wait,
meanwhile, for me, both the west corner and the east corner are still covered. But that's
Pixel,
like literally the only 2 tiles that are covered in the area.
Pixel, you made friends with everyone? You're at peace with both of them?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't realize it's been like 10 turns.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I'm just making my own empire, and it feels pretty great. And
Yeah.
my people are happy. It's all that we want. You don't need war to be happy.
You know, a lot of people ask, right, that they want some type of diplomatic win, some type of victory condition where you
Could be
don't
fun. Could be
have to
fun.
defeat everyone. But we don't have that yet. We don't have a.
No.
We haven't talked about, because we don't have them in this game, but we didn't talk about the changes to Polaris.
Yeah, that's right. I think I've heard some people saying it was a huge nerf. Some people saying it was a little buff, and I didn't test them, so I can't really say. But the Ice Bank nerf makes sense because some houses has been nerfed as well, and I don't know what to think about the other changes. Mooney auto freeze is fun. It's very fun to be able to freeze with a Mooney,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I need to test them in real condition to see if it's better or if it's worse.
I've played a couple of Polaris games, and so far I think big nerf.
You
With
said
all
you
of these
feel.
new boats,
You said you feel like it's a big nerf.
yes, I think it's a nerf. We've now got scouts and rammers, and both have dash, and the rammers in fact have sneak as well, so they are not going to be slowed down by your other units. They can focus primarily on breaking ice, which, because you can have many more, because they have 3 movement, they can move further than a Mooney or a Gammy, so they can break more ice than you can make as Polaris. So ultimately, it's making it harder for Polaris to keep their ice where it is, and yeah, I don't think it's personally. I don't think it's a good change. I feel like it's just a bit of a hard-hitting nerf, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the Polaris, some people like the auto freeze, the Mooney auto freeze. But I think I don't know if you guys talked about it yet, the dash, breaking ice with dash can really hurt Polaris, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't believe it first time when someone told me, "Oh, you can break ice with dash," and I was like, "Oh, that's really big change that they didn't even announce." Or maybe I read it wrong, but I didn't see it in the patch notes. So yeah, I don't know. It feels weird. And there is this, and there is still the cloak strategy to break ice. So I don't know, it feels like Polaris really won't be able to keep ice its world. I don't think that change was needed.
I don't think cloaks being used to break ice will be as common now. Previously,
don't
they were
even think-
used.
I'm not even sure they still can use break ice.
Oh, they
I haven't
can
really
still break
tested it.
ice.
They can still okay.
They can still break ice if they're next to it when they start their turn, but they don't have dash. You know they do have dash. Cloaks do have dash, so yes, it's going to be even easier to break ice with them. But they only have 2 movement compared to 3 movement on ships, so it won't be as necessary, in my opinion. It doesn't matter if they can see, if Polaris can see your units coming or not, because they can't stop you anyway.
Dash freeze on the moon. A good change. Well, change just to keep Polaris a little bit in the action. On the other hand, I don't like the fact that they can dash freeze units, because that's just way too strong. So Polaris is in this weird mix of having some, in my opinion, quite overpowered, some things that are quite underpowered, and Polaris itself is, yeah, at the moment.
I think it would need
Sorry.
more testing in different situations to really know if it's too strong. Oh, if it's too strong or not. Okay. I don't know. I think I need to test in them in many games to see.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
What happened to Wannyboy? He disappeared.
I don't know.
He was cutting out, so I think he must have
Oh,
disconnected.
there, he's
Oh.
back. He's back.
He's back.
I think there was something different about the swordsman, but I forget what it is.
Yes,
What is it?
Fortify.
yes.
They lost
Swordsman.
Fortify, so they don't have the defense buff in city anymore.
Oh.
And just not in cities, they just can't have the defense bonus, right?
Oh.
Oh no, they're just in cities. My bad. Yes.
So swordsmen can still get a defense bonus, like on a mountain, or
Yes.
but not in a
Yes,
city,
yes.
like a giant. A giant doesn't get a defense bonus in
Yes,
the city.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
that's
Okay.
my bad.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
So it's little change. I don't have any strong opinion about it. It's really doesn't matter to me.
Yes, it's a small change, but it wasn't needed as a change, in my opinion. Swordsmen didn't particularly need a nerf. They were already probably quite a weak unit compared to some of the other things you can get, like catapults or knights. Often you'll pick one of those over a swordsman. It's only if you needed the defense, particularly, from the unit, which they've now lost. So there's very little reason to train a swordsman outside of early game if you're playing Wenger, for example. Because later in the game, people have catapults, they have archers, they have a navy. All those things do very well against swordsmen. They really just don't stand any chance at all.
All right. Any other thoughts about the beta? I'm trying to think if there's other changes. Somebody told me the other day that the Exida has changed, and I didn't realize that at all.
What?
Yeah, I also I just saw it in the beta discussion as well. They now have,
What
I think, 2 movements and creep.
Yeah.
eggs?
The Exida, as in the Cymentic
Oh,
catapults.
Exodus. Sorry, I heard eggs. Okay, Exodus. Yes.
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
Mancy
yes.
catapult. Yeah.
Yeah, Exodus. Yeah, I just saw it as well, and they also got creep, so they can go through mountains and forests,
I don't know
which is
if that was also needed. Again, it's like what McGoon was saying about the changes to the swordsman. It's like, what problem were they trying to fix? Like, why?
no. I think that one was quite good
Oh,
change
really?
because
Okay.
Exodus
Yes.
were by far the worst cementy unit. It was really not usable to me, and now it's like compensating their lack of attack compared to catapults with some more movements. So I think it's okay.
And I also think it might have
Yes,
been. Oh, sorry. I think it might have had to do with the bombers. That Michowan wanted the Cymentity to be able to move their ranged unit on the water as well. And so now the Exida has the same range and the same movement as a bomber when boosted.
True. Yeah, I think the Exodus did need their buff. They were very underutilized before. I'm not sure if the movement buff was the right way to go. I still feel they're severely lacking in attacking ability. But I can't think of many reasons to actually use Exida still. Often just hexapods or centipedes or whatever would be more appropriate in my opinion. So
Yeah.
they needed a change, but maybe not that change.
Yeah.
I think with the new ships, like Waterworld is fun now. For the first time ever. Because you have actual variety in the ships that you see.
Let's remove a few of those catapults.
It's not appreciated.
we didn't talk about one of the big change related to water, and it's aquacultures.
Which?
Oh,
aquaculture.
Yes, water farms.
The water farms. Right, because they are lumped in with the rammers, which I kind of get distracted with the rammers. But what do you think about the aqua farms?
I think it's a good change. It's now that ports only give one population. I think having 2 from something is good for, particularly on maps like Archipelago or Waterworld, where you just don't have anything. Otherwise, if your city is completely surrounded by water, you wouldn't be able to upgrade if you didn't have 2 populations from farms or ports. So in that sense, I think it's a nice change. Yeah, can't think of anything else to say about them.
Yeah, I quite like them. They're a nice addition to the game. They feel quite fresh. I'm a bit concerned about them being where they are in the tech tree, though, because at the moment, if you get fishing, if you then get what's the tech called, aquaculture, you can get so much population already, especially on like a map like Archipelago. You don't need any other resource techs anymore. So it feels like you can get a little bit too much from too few techs in a way. But yeah, I like the concept. and it makes me think about where I put my boards and where I put something else.
Yes, to me that's a key thing about the aqua farms is you have to think where you put your parts, where you put your, because I've had some cities where it's the only coastal access is on the aqua farm, and I have to think, oh, but if I put a port there, then I don't get to use the farm. It's a trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you just play any Kiku water bolts, no, sorry, Kiku Archipelago match, it's really crazy how quick the economy goes.
They're basically an upgraded version of Imperius on water-based map.
Wanny, can you
'Cause they
stream
have-
again?
They have like fishing, and they can make ports, and they can also go into the farming just like Imperius can, and they get a unit with it as well.
Wanny, we lost your stream. Can you stream again or no?
Oh, sorry. Yes. I will put it back on.
We want to see Yadak take over the square.
That's the button. All right. Well, I mean, at the moment, I am taking out McGoon, but I have a feeling that Pixel will not let me do it for too much longer. Just a hunch, though.
Borders are scary.
We talked a little bit how this might affect like doing those single player challenges. Do you think these beta changes will affect tournaments? I mean, I know these changes are not going to get into the full version of the game for a while, but how do you anticipate these beta changes affecting either like the bullet tournament or the challenger mode tournaments?
Funnily enough, I think this will make an even bigger gap between random players and competitive players, because competitive will probably have explored the main ways to win and to take profit of the new change, while random players will still be at testing things. And yeah, I think it will make quite a big gap for a moment.
So you think it will widen the skill gap between casual players and more competitive players, because the competitive players will study and find the meta and
Yes,
try hard, and then the casual players will just be left in the dust?
yeah, I think that will quite be. But I can be wrong. We'll see.
What do you think, McGoon? How do you think these might affect? You play a lot of Challenger Mode games, and so what? And you're a bullet champion. What do you think? How will this affect those?
As far as bullet goes, I don't think there'll be too much change there. I think because we play on dry lands, a lot of the, well, obviously the Navy changes, they just don't come into it at all. So,
right.
In that sense, there's not going to be much change. Also, because it's played on Tiny, quite a few people do like using archers already. So, in that sense, again, not going to be much change there. The main change will be giant rushing, I think, with lumber huts being more expensive. Giant rushing on tiny maps will be slower. And also, yeah, roads also being more expensive, that will slow down riders and such. So again, favouring archers. But other than that, I don't think there'll be many changes there. for challenge mode tournaments, on some map types, so for any tournaments hosted on Archipelago or Continents or maybe even Pangaea, I'm not sure how that works with small maps. I haven't tested it. There will be some changes, like more competitive players are more likely to cure themselves on land a bit and then rush their navy, get that up and running as quickly as possible, and get the advantage there before their opponents. I think that'll be the biggest change. We'll see more navy. Yeah, can't think of anything else that will change a huge amount.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if the tournament's on dry land, then you're not going to see the naval units. You're just going to see the effects of like the lumber huts costing more and roads costing more. So you'll see slower giants rolling out, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wanny, what do you think? Do you play much of the tournaments?
Not really. I wanted to do it, but I never really have the time at the time when it comes out. So I don't play. I don't play very many of the Polyseum ones. But I do like the concept of them. So I do want to play them sometime. Just not right now. I just moved house. I'm looking for a job, so
Yeah.
it's not really the time to be spending hours each night grinding those poly points.
Your microphone sounds different, Wanny. I don't know if you changed something, but there's like an echo or a feedback thing now.
It
I didn't
might be
hear
from when
anything well.
Hmm?
To
me, nothing changed, but I don't know, maybe just Discord.
Okay, maybe it's Discord.
Yeah, it might also be a bit of lag on my side.
Mm.
I had to move to a different spot with slightly less internet.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, I don't play as much competitive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not as active anymore in the PolyChamps. Just because of how much time it takes me. But yeah, I think it will be nice. I always like it when something happens to shake up the meta, and this is definitely something that will cause a lot of changes.
So actually, that's a question that someone asked. Good segue. What do you predict will be the new meta? Wanny, you go first.
The new meta, naval all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to get on the water as soon as possible. Maybe claim a few of those starfish, but really just try to get control. The naval techs give the best economy. The naval units are the strongest ones, so no reason not to go that route.
McGoon,
And I think actually lakes will probably be the most interesting map, because on lakes you do also have naval, but you don't need to use naval. Whereas on maps like continents here, even though there is a lot of landmass, we are not really using our land units to fight because, well, we first need to cross all the water. So our land units can't do anything until we've crossed the water, and at that point, you already won the game. So I think in that regard, yeah, lakes will probably be the one where land units have the most chance to actually contribute to anything.
Thanks. So yeah, McGoon, what do you think about quote unquote the new meta? What do you think it'll look like? You agree, naval?
Yes. Currently, naval is definitely going to be where people are heading. I can't think of anything that really competes with navy at the moment. Someone said in the beta suggestions category on main, I think it was Spiker actually, how navy gives you access to top 4 or 5 new units compared to any other tech tree. Like the second most is either strategy, giving you or defenders and cloaks, or the riding branch with riders and knights. But the naval branch gives you bombers, rammers, scouts, rafts, and juggernauts. That's just so much more than any other branch. It gives you so much more flexibility. And obviously it gives you the farms, the ports, and the fish. So, and also starfish, which we mentioned earlier. All of those things together just means the naval branch is currently so much stronger than everything else. Like I can't see anyone who goes for land units being able to significantly outperform anyone who goes for naval units currently.
By the way, Pixel, could you
Yes.
please not do what you're doing at the moment? I have the distinct feeling that the piece will be broken with this
No.
positioning.
What a strange feeling. I don't see why the Iron thing exists. Like, I'm totally not preparing for war. Totally not.
I mean, I
Absolutely.
almost had McGoon down. Almost. Put so much effort into it. Don't do this to me.
Oh, there it is. Bye-bye, peace.
No.
You're betrayed.
I hope we'll still be friends.
Well, I'm not really sure about that.
Trade him.
He
I
totally,
think Wanny, you should take all of the units away from me.
totally didn't
Focus
see that
everything on
coming.
Pixel.
I'm thinking as well. But the problem is that I can't really move them away because of how Pixel positioned his units. So what am I gonna do about this?
Oh, and rammers have the sneak, right? So zone of control does not affect them.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
I think that
That's
was
probably-
intended to counter bombers, so they can be in backline and just spamming fire against your warmers. But it's good and it's not good at the same time because it makes warmer really, really needed. Like you really need a lot of warmers to break into the backlines and kill the giants, bombers, and anything else. But it's interesting to have a naval unit getting the sneak ability because I don't think there was any naval unit getting it before.
What about cloaks? Or what do they call them? Dinghies?
Dinghies.
Dinghies, yeah.
Yes, they do have sneak, but
Oh yeah,
They-
they,
they-
had.
they can
That's right.
they can attack anything.
Yeah, they can't attack.
How come we haven't seen any cloaks in this game? Y'all have diplomacy.
Oh, I
Only
may
one person.
I may
can see.
have some.
Hmm.
Don't really
Yes.
know.
Don't give anything away.
Perhaps.
I was about to get cloaks, and then I suddenly got betrayed. So
Oh.
that's not gonna
Yeah.
happen anymore.
Disaster.
I mean,
I have to look for the eyeballs. Who's got the eyeballs? Where's the cloak? Actually, I can see all of your screens, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Let them play Minesweeper.
Yes.
It's funny.
I love how people keep comparing looking for cloaks to that Minesweeper game. It's a perfect description.
It's really similar.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more similar to like battleships. If you've ever played that,
Mm-hmm.
you know roughly, you know that some things around the area, but you can't say how many or where in particular. You have to keep shooting in that area to try and find it. Whereas Minesweeper, you know exactly how many things there are. Slightly different in my opinion.
Uh-oh, new peace treaty coming in.
oh,
Oh,
so rude.
how rude.
I'm sorry, but you've been attacking me for the past 28 turns.
Hey,
I
you
feel
were
like it's
attacking me
only
as well.
fair. Yeah, that's allowed.
I even specifically didn't kill those 2 ships.
Yeah, good snake. I'll send peace to you when Pixel starts winning.
Oh, we didn't talk about the change that you can only upgrade your ships in your own waters. Because I think it was Wanny moved his raft unit back into his borders, and I assume that's because you needed to upgrade it. How do you guys feel about that?
I quite like the change.
Mm-hmm.
Being forced to think about what you want your units to do before you start throwing them at your enemy, that's a quite nice change in my opinion. I will say though, I'm not particularly keen on rafts being quite as useless as they are. I appreciate that they've got 2 defense rather than boats which used to have 1, but not having any ability to do damage, that annoys me personally. Like, over here, Wanny has a 2 health scout. I can either leave that and let him heal it, or I can spend 5 stars to get my own scout and kill it. It's a trade-off, but it's so much more expensive now than it was in the previous version. Personally, I'm not keen on that. Maybe other people are.
So you like that you have to be in your own waters to upgrade, but you wish the raft had at least some type of attack, something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was just 1 damage and only 1 range, that would be enough for a lot of cases. But having no damage means that they really just can't do anything, and every naval unit costs at least 5 stars if you want to attack something, which is potentially an investment that you don't want to make.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And then I like that when you do upgrade, you just have to pick one thing, because currently in the regular version of the game, right, you can have your boat and then you upgrade it to a ship and then you upgrade the ship to a battleship. But now it's like, once you pick, if you're going to upgrade it to a bomber, it's just staying as a bomber. There's no intermediate. How do you feel about that? Wanny, you get to go. You haven't talked for a little while.
I think that's fine. I think it's good that you don't just cycle through all the units. And I mean, you also don't get the choice with any of the other units in the game, right? You can't just decide that your warrior is now a knight. So it kind of makes sense for the same to apply to the naval units.
That would be funny if you could turn your rider into a knight. That's kind of how it works in history, right? You had a soldier and you would promote them and they'd move up the ranks. We don't do that in Polytopia. Well, I guess you do with veterans. I take it back. So yeah, there is that.
Hey, stop it.
Oh! There's a crab in the Yadak capital.
Yes.
Yes. I don't like him being there. Not at all.
Set your city on fire. Ouch. No, crabs are tough now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it would be hard to get this one out of the city.
It probably will be, actually. Although, I am happy to announce that my rafts that I sent all the way to your backline finally landed on top of a starfish that I can now harvest.
I saw that starfish hanging out in that aquarium side of the map, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't have navigation, so he's not going to get the starfish.
Like, I got ocean movement in free diving, so I have absolutely no interest into taking sailing.
Yeah.
So I don't see starfishes.
Yeah, I saw you make a crab there. I thought like, oh well, I won't get the starfish because you're going for it anyway. And you just
Oh,
walk past
no.
it. It's like, what's going on? Why doesn't he want the starfish?
Yeah, I don't see them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That Aquarian has no reason to see starfish. Why would they invest in that line of technology?
Whoa, 3 stars. Okay. What to do?
Well, I have to go soon. This has been really fun. You guys are great sports. Any final words on the beta? I'll start with McGoon. What are your any last thoughts or comments about the beta before I have to go and turn off the stream?
I can't think of anything in particular. I think maybe the only thing I can think of that we didn't cover was gammies and well, potentially moonies as well. Firstly, freezing as just a move that's been removed,
Yes.
so you can no longer keep your units still and freeze, which it's a bit of a nerf, but personally don't think it changes too much. The other thing is gammies have had their defense reduced. I think it was changed from 4 to 3.
Correct.
Which personally I don't like that. As a super unit, I feel like they should be stronger than that. But yeah, I feel like they're just slightly too easy to kill now, considering how important they've been in the past and present for Polaris.
Yeah. So you think the gammy nerf, the reduction in defense, and also not being able to freeze in place. I forget what it's called, but now you have to move to get the freeze effect. You can't just stay in the same spot and freeze.
Yeah.
Okay, Pixel, any last thoughts?
I think that update was definitely the biggest update of Polytopia. It changed a lot of things, and we will need a lot of time to figure out what really implies the change that were made, and we are being promised special tribes rebalance as well. So it's getting really interesting. I like the direction where Vegemon is going, and I'm looking forward to see for the next change, even if the one already presented are really interesting. And as I said, I will do many tests, do many games before seeing what it really implies. But I really like it. It's really great. And the only annoying thing is the beta bugs getting into normal game, and that's spawns are really unplayable. I've seen some crazy things like that pool cementy getting stuck around 9 tiles of water.
Yes.
It's oh no, I've lost all my friends. Okay.
Nobody wants to be your friend anymore now that you
No.
have massive giant crab monsters.
Yeah, I mean, you lost your friends, but you got a capital, so good on you.
Want to be my
Who's
friend
the
again?
real winner?
I mean, if you leave the capital, sure.
No, I will take the capital.
I mean, that's kind of not how the deal works.
Yeah, but we can still be friends.
You wish.
I mean, let's talk again after I've used all my new bombers to blow up that crab of yours.
Yeah, every time there's a new beta, there's always bugs, and they get into the regular version of the game. It's like every single beta, there's glitches that affect the regular
Yeah, but
version, and
this
it takes
one,
them time to fix it. It's inevitable. Yeah.
this one has been particularly bad because
Mm-hmm.
it's. I found the game really unplayable with those border spawn bugs. It's really bad.
Yeah. I've heard that from other people too. It's really frustrating. Like in the tribe duels,
Especially,
I've seen like so many people complain in the tribe duels, like, what the heck is this spawn? I'm like hanging off the
Yes.
edge of the map. I can't. And we're, oh, yeah, okay. So I think we might have to adjust the rules for the finals, but it'll be too late for this round. But yeah, I've heard that from so many people. It's really frustrating.
well, on continents it's still kind of alright, but on lakes it's absolutely horrible in my opinion. I really, really don't like how the lakes generation goes with this bug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Wanny, any
That's,
last thoughts before I say goodbye to the YouTube stream?
Only that I don't really like Pixel anymore, but other than that,
No. I'm making peace with you before the end of the stream so we can be friends again.
he
And
says
it-
while killing my neighbor.
Let's unite against the evil McGoon, who just
What? I'm not
betrayed
evil.
me
I mean,
in a bloody way.
If you didn't attack me, McGoon would have been dead on his island. Now look at all
Yeah,
those
but
ships he has.
then
That's
you would be too powerful.
Are you saying that
Hardly.
the real friends you made along the way were the crabs?
Yeah.
Can put a change.
Oh,
to
I just realized I wanted to send an embassy to you, Wanny, but I just realized you don't have a capital anymore, so I can't.
Oh.
What a shame.
And
I know.
how did you
That's
lose
really
your
kicking while I'm
capital?
down, man. That's really kicking while I'm down.
He's really twisting the
rude.
knife. How did you lose that capital that you can't have an embassy anymore?
Oh, I wonder.
All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. But yes, I need to go do other things. So, thanks, McGoon, Pixel, and Wannyboy. I really appreciate your expertise and sense of humor and patience with technical difficulties. So, thanks very much, and thanks for being on PolyChampions. And this is a plug. All you people watching, you should join the Discord. You should get on a PolyChampions team, and then you'll be able to have all this fun with us. You guys can all say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Goodbye.
not all at the same time. Say thank you, goodbye, one at a time.
All right. So thanks for having me on here. It was fun to be part of this talk show, whatever you call it, beta showcase.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can see each other again soon when the next update drops, because I'm pretty sure this was not the last beta update we have seen
Yeah.
from Naval.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, Pixel. Now you. Okay,
yeah.
McGoon. Now you
Yes.
say thanks and goodbye, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Thanks for having us here to about stuff. Yeah, it was great fun. When the next beta changes drop and we see the rebalances, I'm interested to see how opinions have changed on things. So, yeah. See you next time, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pixel. Now you can say farewell.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for watching the live. Thanks to you for playing and discussing with us. And I hope I will still have friends after this game. And and I hope my poor English skills didn't disturb you too much. And I think it was understandable, but you judge. So thanks for listening and goodbye.
All right. Yeah. Thanks all. This was fun. Have a good rest of your day and see you on a Discord. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So, yeah.